Hey there, welcome back to the development series of Bliss, a game being developed by my brother and I. I want to let you know that you can already wishlist Bliss on Steam, so we will appreciate if you could support us by wishlisting the game there. We also released a combat system that you can play for free at the Chayon. The links will be down in the description. So starting from where we left off last time, we created our first weapon, the wooden stick. Along with some animations for it, you were able to pick up the weapon and save it in your inventory. We also made the skeleton class out of the Golem class that we made before, so we could try stuff out. It was around this time that I started working in the trailer for Bliss. I wanted to make this to guide us to where and what we wanted to do for our first game. It was here when we also launched a Kickstarter campaign to help us with the cost of making Bliss. But at the end, we didn't reach our Kickstarter goal, and we're pretty happy we didn't because we weren't sure if we could finish a whole game by ourselves. So I closed the Kickstarter campaign before its final date and decided to make Bliss with our own resources. So going back to the trailer, I made a few levels and ideas that we wanted to implement into the game, and although we put a lot of work into it, not everything is going to be in the final game. We surely spent a lot of time into something that we weren't even sure if we would use it, but in my opinion it was totally worth it. After some time we got to update the inventory. Now you were able to see the items that you have picked up and select them with the keyword numbers. The animations will change depending on which item was active, and you can also swap items while attacking. Each item deals different amounts of damage that will add to the base damage of the hero. As requested by many, we tried making Bliss Multiplayer so that you could play with your friends online, but neither my brother or I had any experience with this, but we still tried to see what we could do. We managed to make it work and we were able to play together in different computers, both in local and global network via Steam. Sadly, we decided it would be best for us to keep the game as single player. We talked about it for quite some time, and at the end we realized that it was going to take us twice as much or even more time to develop Bliss if we decided to make it online. And we also saw this as a possible mistake because it's our first game. So for now we will keep developing Bliss as a single player game, but I'm still looking forward for an online feature later on. After that we started working with the Golem, a creature who only wants to rest and won't bother you unless you bother them. The Golems will stay idle at whatever position they were placed and will not attack you unless you get really close to them. Later on, we started making the two types of attacks, light attacks and heavy attacks. Depending on how you attack, you will deal different amounts of damage and push the enemies farther away. We also updated our combat and combo system, allowing you to perform different attacks depending on the inputs, which meant that a combo formed by light attack, heavy attack will be different than a heavy attack, heavy attack, heavy attack. We pretty much had our combo system ready and we just had to implement more animations into each weapon. The potions were finally updated. I still had a problem where you couldn't pick up the potions that were too close to each other, so you had to get out of the hitbox and then come back to pick up one by one. Other than that, the potions did their job of regenerate HP back when they were used. You could also stock them in your inventory. In here, we changed the hitboxes of the hero attacks. Now every frame of the animation will cast a hitbox in the weapon's position. This was to make the attacks feel more accurate and realistic, but it wasn't working too well for us because enemies would take more damage where there were more frames. This was typically at the end of the animation or any attacks that were slower, and sometimes you would deal less or no damage at all because there were empty spaces between frames. So we decided to revert these changes. Now the way our hitbox works is one hit per attack, and all units inside of the area of effect will get hit. This is also how the enemy hitbox works. We started to work in our first boss, the Orc. We started with the basic animations like idle, walk, running, and 3 different attacks for different ranges. We also made a spawner. This can be destroyed as any other unit, and we can adjust the parameters to change how many enemies will spawn and how fast they will spawn. The auto lock was updated, highlighting in yellow the enemy that was being targeted, and now every time you hit a unit, the damage is going to be displayed on screen. Lastly, the gravity and air control was changed to have a better and smoother gameplay. Now I get the feeling that I can move and jump anywhere I want. The small changes gave the game a whole different feeling, and gave me the ability to pull off my amazing tricks. I guess this is it for today. Don't forget to wishlist Bliss on Steam. Please let me know if you have any comments, feedback or ideas about Bliss or the devlogs. Also, if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, make sure you subscribe as I will be making more of this as often as I can. Thank you for watching and have a good day.